Hi, welcome to She Spice. Jaguar Wright is by and large working up contention in a stunning disclosure. She proposes that Rihanna could have been to Jay-Z when she revealed that. Evan Rogers found Rihanna at 30 a.m. in a lodging with practically no parental management on the island where she grew up. She was a minor at that point, and she wound up in a meeting room with Mr. Carter without parental oversight. Rihanna was placed on a confidential plane and wound up in a load-up room with Sean Carter, otherwise called Jay-Z Maker. Evan Rogers guaranteed that he was traveling to Rihanna's local nation of Barbados with his significant other. As per Rogers, Rihanna moved toward him while he was on the ocean front and recently began singing A Piece of My Way of Life, so I grew up moving constantly, totally beyond my ability. I just began singing roused by Beyonce individuals like Moore, Carey, and Houston when they explicitly inquired as to whether Rihanna was in the U.S. Wright answered, beginning to sound way, don't it? She likewise guarantees that Rihanna's dad later got a $500,000 check for his little girl's inclusion. This recommends that Rihanna's collection, which could require a more intensive look-doing ability, shows at 30 a.m. So you're saying that the bits of hearsay are valid? There are tales circling that Rihanna was really right likewise, finds the collection cover upsetting, portraying it as portraying the kid lady of the hour with a crown over her head and blood spread all over. Tales have been whirling for quite a while that Jay-Z was engaged to Rihanna when she was underage. Rihanna and Jay-Z have long been the subject of hypotheses and conversations. In the past, there were far-reaching convictions proposing an expected heartfelt contribution between Jay-Z and Rihanna. Notwithstanding Jay-Z being hitched to Beyonce as indicated by Rihanna, there have been undisclosed occurrences, including Jay-Z, that were not recently known, and it was awkward and a great deal of discussions. You know, when you have $1 billion on a lift show, are practically unavoidable. Jay-Z and Beyonce, the unmatched power couple in Hip Bounce, ended up at the focal point of a tempest of duping reports after a security tape spilled, apparently catching Beyonce's sister Solange defying Jay-Z in a lift with her handbag after the 2014 Met celebration. While this episode turned into a point of convergence of interest, it wasn't the beginning stage for the hypothesis encompassing treachery in the years going before their tranquil wedding. In 2008, relentless bits of gossip about disloyalty purportedly drove Jay-Z and Beyonce to prudently head out in different directions. Hypotheses about Jay-Z's supposed extramarital activities have waited inside the colony of bees since the circumstances strengthened when Beyonce, through her 2016 collection Lemonade, dropped various clues about treachery, inciting her fans to leave on an energetic journey to reveal the character of the alleged special lady lovingly named Becky with the great hair. Jay-Z later affirmed these allegations in his collection 444, while the slippery character of Becky's remaining parts made the disclosures shed light on the Jay-Z swindling tales and enlightened how the Carters explored these difficulties. You won't ever be sufficient, simply keep it genuine. Jay-Z, and Beyonce partook in a time of relative serenity before their apparently perfect relationship confronted a flood of bamboozling. Reports in 2001, Jay-Z referenced to Vanity Fair that they were simply starting to attempt to date each other anyway, 4 years after the fact that the media hummed with reports of Jay-Z's supposed issue with his protege. Rihanna is creating a shaded area over his relationship with the previous Predetermination's kid star, as per J. Randy. Tara Borelli, the creator of Beyonce's unapproved account, the couple carefully isolated during this time, with Beyonce wrestling with vulnerabilities filled by the Rihanna hypothesis. Well, you realize that it had been a long-standing talk that Jay-Z and Rihanna were taking part in extramarital entanglements, and my occupation as a biographer is to kind of unload these bits of hearsay and put the lie to them, if conceivable, or affirm them. When Beyonce released the Red Hot Separation hymn ring, the Alert in 206 hypothesis inside the Bive proposed that the other chick in the tune was Rihanna, and the canine referenced in the verses was Jay-Z anyway. Beyonce's camp apparently denied any such associations, however, was there any legitimacy to these reports as indicated by Tara Borelli? Jay-Z didn't really undermine Beyonce, and he affirmed that the bits of gossip were created by Rihanna's marketing expert, Jonathan Hay, as a methodology to raise her profession. In a 2015 email to the New York Day-to-Day News Roughage, he purportedly admitted to the plan, communicating expressions of remorse to both Jay-Z and Rihanna, recognizing the creation and depicting what was going on as exceptionally abnormal. So Jay-Z's and Rihanna never did what they didn't do when Rihanna and Jay-Z's association traces all the way back to 2004, when the youthful artist from Barbados was gathered at the workplaces at DJam accounts, where Jay-Z stood firm on the foothold of the president at the time. Rihanna has transparently shared her underlying apprehension about gathering the persuasive big shot and businessperson, reviewing the second in a meeting with the Watchmen. In 2007, she conceded feeling extreme uneasiness as she wound up eye to eye with the one who might assume a critical part in changing her life. She entertainingly portrayed the experience, saying, "I resembled gracious God, he's not too far off. I can't look, I can't look, I can't search," in an exhibition of their getting through kinship. An expert help when Rihanna and the NFL uncovered that she would feature the 2023 Super Bowl halftime show. Jay-Z was among the quick to stretch out his congratulations to his protege and companion, notwithstanding the different difficulties and reports. Remembering hypotheses of an undertaking for 2005, it has stayed obvious that both Rihanna and Jay-Z harbor are significant considerations for one another and sincerely underwrite each other's professions. The camera addresses such countless individuals as an immense crowd, and the camera at a Super Bowl is one of the greatest crowds. While it's basically difficult to envision a world in which everybody doesn't understand what an extraordinary ability Rihanna is. It appears that this was the situation when she tried out before Jay-Z, who was the leader of DJam Records at the time. Rihanna's excursion to fame started when record producer Evan Rogers found her soon after she won a nearby Marvel show in Barbados. In the wake of moving to the US to live with Rogers and his significant other, she recorded her presentation single, Contemplate, and when Rihanna played out the tune for Jay-Z at DJam, it cemented her status as a star in his eyes, as related by the vocalist to Drifter. Anyway, it was only after Jay-Z saw her live presentation of the melody that he really prevailed upon, as indicated by New York DJ Sia Sounds. There was a discussion among him and Jay-Z about marking Rihanna, with Jay-Z communicating reservations. "I don't realize it very well. There may be only one tune I'm similar to. I'm letting you know, Jay, that to this end, you have me around your ear. I'm the N and R." The connection between Rihanna and Jay-Z has for some time been obfuscated in disarray, with diligent bits of gossip proposing that the two had an unsanctioned romance when they previously teamed up. These reports date back to 2005 and supposedly assumed a critical role in Beyonce and Jay-Z's accounted for 1 year split, as the Sleevettes vocalist wrestled with a surge of stories as per creator J. Randy Taraborelli, as detailed by the Everyday Mail. Beyonce didn't have any idea what to think about this, and it really wound up separating them for a period of time. They spent perhaps a year separated from one another on the grounds that Beyonce simply wasn't certain of what to make of the circumstances. But anyway, it later arose that these bits of gossip were just manufactured by marketing experts. Jonathan admitted to establishing the accounts in the press subsequent to being recruited to advance Rihanna's presentation. Consider replaying a marketing expert who worked for Rihanna, who conceded that he established the story in the press. It was false. It was a story that he planted to further Rihanna's vocation, notwithstanding the achievement that came from her most memorable gathering with Jay-Z getting a record bargain. Rihanna actually experienced anxiety during her underlying tryout, considering that she was a young person from Barbados meeting quite possibly one of the most popular and powerful figures in the music industry. It's justifiable. Rihanna later shared her recollections of that nerve-wracking experience with her fans through her Instagram story. Recognizing, "Feels like just yesterday, I was shaking in the foyers of Deep Predicament, holding back to try out for Jay," as revealed by the Evening Standard in a comparable record to The Watchmen in 2007. Rihanna portrayed the uneasiness she felt during her tryout for Jay-Z. She was very peaceful, timid, and cold all through the process of communicating. The dreamlike sensation of sitting opposite the notorious Jay-Z was incredibly peaceful. "I was extremely timid. I was cold the whole time. I had butterflies. I'm sitting opposite Jay-Z, like Jay-Z. I was captured by the fact that the fellowship between Jay-Z and Rihanna rises above the domain of the music business, stretching out to different parts of life. Past making and delivering fruitful collections and melodies, Jay-Z, a prestigious rapper and magnate, has been sincere about offering an exhortation to Rihanna on a range of subjects, underscoring that while he gives direction, he has no control over the results or choices she makes in light of that guidance. And when she strolled into our office, I resembled her. You realize she just had it. It was only something about her. It was simply that she had this. you realize it was. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.